Shock of the weekend went to Grimsby over in League 2 as they ousted top 3 contenders Bolton. But what will happen in midweek? We'll take a little look next. Right, folks, back once again on the prediction show today. We're taking a look at match number 43 over in League 2, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new, smash your subscribe, get you back up to date with all things League 2 related, Rovers related, all things world football. We're going to all here on the one Rooski. Of course, we are cracking the whip here today, boys, as we've got a lot to cover in just a little bit of time. We're not going to take a look at your picks. Unfortunately, it is all about just getting the prediction show up so you can get your picks in so we can keep on keeping on, because it's mental this week with, of course, double match weeks across Europe. So I do apologise right here, right now. So we'll bring you bang up to date with the leaderboards in about a week's time, so just be patient, hang on in there. It was either cancel it or just do it like this. So we're going to do it like this. Anyway, of course, thanks again for watching. Be sure to give the video some love and smash your subscribe. Here we go. Of course, take a look at of course, the results from this past weekend. Of course, Crawley, big winners over Cheltenham 1-0 in the end, and I called it, boys. Absolutely cool. That was on Friday, the 16th of April. Jordan Maguire-Drew getting them 1 goal for, of course, Crawley giving them the win. Meanwhile, Carlisle against Port Vale, 2-1 win was my pick. It was a 0-0 draw in the end. Nothing to report there. Exeter, well, we were also a 0-0 draw against Southend. Also nothing to report there. Morecambe, though, 7-goal thriller over Oldham to keep them in the mix for the top 3. Goodness gracious me. Carlos Mendes-Gomez with a couple of goals there. Aaron Wildig and Cole Stockton on the score sheet as well. Conor McGolney, Cameron Bothwick, Jackson, Carl Jamieson giving, of course, Oldham a bit of hope, but unfortunately not good enough. 2-1 for me, double it, and you're a little bit closer there. Stevenage against Mansfield was a 1-0 win for Mansfield. Actually, one of the 1-0 win for Stevenage on that one. Of course, big win for Mansfield, climbed the table. Ryan Sweeney for them, giving them the 3 points. The Vegans against Scunthorpe ended up with a 3-2 win for the Vegans to get themselves right back in the thick of things. Also for Automatics, Jordan Moore, Taylor, Ibu Adams, Chris Stokes as well, Harrison McGalley, and Abu Issa on the score sheet. Of course, Scunthorpe in a 3-2 win, 2-0 for me. Not too bad. There it is, of course, Grimsby, 2-1 winners over Bolton, 3-1 for me, going the other way. Of course, Grimsby hanging on for the dear life. Jay Matete on the score sheet, Ilya Jackson Jr., of course, Sean Mahler giving Bolton a bit of hope, but unfortunately not good enough. 3-1 win for me, gone the wrong way though. 2-1 win for Grimsby. Harrogate, 2-1 winners over Bradford City, of course. But Harrogate have got outside shots, of course, playoffs, I think. Do they? Probably not now. Too far gone. 2-1 win though for Harrogate. Jack Muldoon, Josh Kate getting the goals back. Andy Cook getting the goal for Bradford, but of course got that one wrong. 2-2 in the end. Leyton Orient against Barrow was a 2-0 win for the Orient, of course, a big win for them as well, as they also edged closer, of course, to the top 6, or top 7 even. Daniel Happer, Daniel Kemp as well on the score sheet for the Orient. 2-0 win for them. Barrow got them bang on the nose, boys. Bang on the nose. Meanwhile, Newport County against Cambridge. 1-0 win for Cambridge, of course, as they're flying high at the top of the table. Of course, Declan de Rysdale giving, of course, Cambridge the win. 2-1 for me. Going the other way. Tranmere against Salford ended up as a 0-0 draw as well. What are we doing here? Poor. Who was the goal scorers on this one? There was no goal scorers, of course. 2-2 for me. Got the point, though. Meanwhile, Colchester United against Walsall was a 2-1 win for Colchester, as they finally got themselves a win for the first time in a long time. Miguel Mulvili, Ryan Clampin as well, with James Clark in the goal scorer sheet for Walsall. 2-1 win for Colchester. 2-1 win for the Walsall going the other way. As you can see, I did okay. Not brilliant. But of course, what does the table look like? We'll have a little gander right here, right now then. It shows, of course, Cambridge are still flying at the top of the table. Of course, 74 points at the moment. They've got a 5-point cushion over, of course, 4th place. Morecambe, of course, got 1 point big difference between themselves and Bolton, who are in the top 3 at the moment. Then it's Tranmere, Forest Green, Newport County make up the power 7. As for the further table, Grimsby and Southend going down as it stands. It's probably too late though for Grimsby. What have they got left? They got 4 games, I think, 12 points on average up for grabs. Realistically, it's a tight old squeeze down the foot of the table. If anything, I think Grimsby are a bit too far gone. 12 points up the offering, up 12 points. Who's on this then? Who could realistically make a little squeeze here? Probably Carlisle, maybe. You're shooting for this one here. You're shooting for 62. But regardless of all that, we'll have to wait and see. Of course, double match week, so we'll take a little look at it right here, right now with the next round of matches. Of course, get your picks in for this one. We'll take a look at them, of course, when we get round to it. So just get the points, so you can get the points on the board. So let's kick it on forward now. Barrow up against, of course, Port Vale. Played just the one time in recent times. That was Boxing Day. Port Vale was a 2-0 win for Barrow. Of course, Scott Quigley and Patrick Brough on the score sheet giving Barrow the win on the road at Vale Park. Heading into this, though, Vale actually winning 5 of the past 6 games. Their only hiccup was a draw against Carlisle just the other day. Meanwhile, Barrow just won defeat the past 5 as well for them, losing to Leyton Orient just the other day. day. Look at the bookies odds on this one. We got Barrow coming at you, of course, 85 for the victory, 85 is also Port Vale, 25 is your draw. Of course, Barrow all the way down in, of course, 21st, but a win for them. They can move up to 18th. As for the opposition, of course, Port Vale, they're down to 14th at the moment, but a win for them. They can close it in on 13th place. Bradford, I've gone with a cheeky 3-1 for Port Vale. They are looking good at the moment, finally, at long last. Meanwhile, Bradford against Tranmere. Let's get into this one now, shall we? Played each other last 6, 3 for Bradford, 2 for Tranmere, 1 draw. Last round at Vale was a 1-win for Tranmere back in 2013 in League One. Ryan Lowe on the score sheet, of course, for Tranmere. Now he's manager, I think. Is he manager of Bolton? I think it is. But of course, played each other this season down at Tranmere. Prenton Park was a 1-0 win for Bradford. Lee Novak getting the goal scoring sheet back in the day. Heading into this, though, without a win at least 6 games, Tranmere are flapping like a flappity skin, of course. On the opposition, though, of course, Bradford coming to this back-to-back defeats for them, losing to Crawley, losing to Harrogate as well. 2 teams needing a win for both, I don't know, just for anything. 6-4 for Bradford, 9-5 is your Tranmere, 9-4 is your draw. Of course, Bradford all the way down to 14th, but a win for them. They close it in. They're all down 30th, but a win for them. They can move up to, they're still in it, all the way up to 8th. As for opposition, Tranmere, I am 5th, and a win for them. They can move up to 4th. I'm going to go with the 2-0 for Bradford on this one, of course, to put a bit of stink in the old playoff race. Next up, of course, Colchester United up against Southend. A bit of a relegation 6 points of this badger. Of course, win for Southend, and guess what? Colchester, you're in the shit. Played each other the last 6 forwards for Southend, 2 for Colchester, no draws last round in Colchester in the league. Was all the way back in 2015 in League One. It was a 2-0 win for Southend. John White on the score sheet, David Mooney as well. They also played each other at Roots Hall back in Boxing Day. It was 2-0 win for Southend. Heading into this, though, of course, what are we looking at? Southend just won defeat about 6 games. That was against Carlisle, 2-0 loss at home. Meanwhile, just won in the past, who knows how long, for Colchester, of course. They did beat Walsall just the other day. A chance for them to maybe back-to-back wins for them. Look at the bookies odds. 65 for Colchester, 94 is your draw, 94 is your Southend. Southend coming to this, of course, in 23rd, but a win for them. They can move closer to 22nd. That's Colchester, and Colchester are 22nd. A win for them. They can move up to 20th. Must win, you would say, for Southend. I've gone with the 1-0 with Southend, of course, with Brown in charge. Let's do the Great Escape. Next up, of course, Stevenage up against, of course, where are you? Cheltenham, of course. Played each other the last 6, 4 wins for Stevenage, 1 for Cheltenham, 1 draw. Last time around in Stevenage was 2-0 win for Stevenage back in May 2019. Joe Martin, Jordan Gibson on the score sheet, giving Stevenage a double. Meanwhile, of course, Cheltenham did play them this season at their own place. It was a 1-1 draw back in Boxing Day. Heading into this, Cheltenham just won defeat the past 4 games. That was against Crawley just the other day. Meanwhile, 3 games without a win. That is Stevenage, of course, back-to-back defeats, of course, losing to Salford, and of course losing to Mansfield as well. Look at the bookies odds on this one. Stevenage coming at you, Stevenage. What are we looking at? Stevenage are actually 13-5 for the victory, 20 is your Cheltenham, of course, 23-10 is your George. Cheltenham are actually in second, and with them they can move top of the pops. As for their opposition, of course, Stevenage, they're all the way down to 15th, but a win for them they can move up to 14th above Port Vale. Going with a 1-1 draw on this one. Point split right down the middle. Next up, of course, Walsall up against Salford. Let's get into this one there, shall we? Of course, played to the last 3, 1 for Walsall, 2 for Salford, no draws. Last round in Walsall, of course, back in October 2019. Luke Armstrong, Jake Jervis, and of course, Ibu Toure on score sheet, giving Salford the W. Meanwhile, they also played each other this season at Salford. It was a 2-0 win for Salford back on Boxing Day. Heading into this, though, Salford, what are we looking at? Just, without a win, just 1 defeat the past 5 games. That 1 defeat was against Bolton. Meanwhile, 1 defeat the past 6 games for Walsall. That was against Colchester just the other day. So 2 teams, good kind of form, but of course, need to get back to winning ways. Of course, the bookies odds on this one. What are we looking at this one here? We have Walsall 13-5 for the victory, 23-10 is your draw, 11-10 is your Salford. Salford actually in 11th at the moment, but for them they can move up to, they can actually move into the top 7, of course, at the expense of Newport. As for their opposition, Walsall, they're all the way down to 19th, but for them they can move up to at least 17th in the table. I'm going by 2-0 win for Salford on this one. Get the 3 points, get Team GB moving in the right direction. Next up, then Vegans up against, of course, Exeter City, of course. Played each other the last 6, 1 with the Vegans, 3 for Exeter, 2 draws last time around at Forest Green. Was a 1-0 win for Exeter back in January the 1st, 2020. That's New Year's Day. Nigel Astagne with a goal and a red card, as he had a bit of an eventful day. Also played each other this season at Exeter. Was a 1-1 draw back in, of course, Boxing Day. Heading into this, though, just 1 defeat and 1 win, in fact, the past 5 games for Exeter. That was against Cambridge United. Meanwhile, 1 win and 6 also for the Vegans. That was against Scunthorpe just the other day. Look at the bookies odds on this one. Forest Green Rovers. They're coming into 7-4 for the victory, 9-4 is your draw, 31-20 is your Exeter. Exeter coming into this in 8th. With them, they can move up to 7th. As for the Vegans, they're in 6th. And with them, they can move up to 5th. I've gone with the 2-1 win for the Vegans. That's right, take 3 points and move the chains. Next up, we've got Grimsby up against, of course, High Flyers Morecambe, would you believe it? Of course, played to the last 6, 2 for Grimsby, 3 for Morecambe, 1 draw last time around. In Grimsby in the league was a 2-1 win for Grimsby back in February 2020. James Hansen and Josh Benson on the score sheet giving Grimsby the win. Adam Phillips getting the 1 goal for Morecambe. Also played this season in Morecambe back in, of course, Boxing Day, 3-1 win for Morecambe. Heading into this, Morecambe back-to-back wins. Scoring 8 goals in just 2 games. Of course, beating Scunthorpe, beating Oldham, of course. As for Grimsby, just 1 defeat the past 6. The 1 defeat was against Bradford a couple of games back. Meanwhile, the bookies odds on this one, we got to have Grimsby coming at you. Grimsby 12-5 for the victory, 65 is your Morecambe, 9-4 is your draw. Of course, Grimsby are 24th, but a win for them, they can move up to 28th. As for Morecambe, they're 4th, and a win for them, they can move actually up to 2nd. Go on, do it, my boys. 2-1 win for Morecambe in the bloody end. Next up, we have, of course, Harrogate up against Oldham Athletic. Let's take a look at this one then, shall we? Of course, play each other just the one time, and that was, of course, early in the season down at Boundary Park. It was 2-1 for Harrogate, of course, over Oldham on their own turf. George Thompson with a couple of goals there for Harrogate. Conor McGaney get the goal for Oldham. Of course, Bobby Grant got himself sent off. Heading into this, though, just one defeat the past 3 games for Oldham. That was against Morecambe, 4-3 loss, 7 goal through. Just one win, though, in 6 for Harrogate. That was against Bradford just yesterday or the other day. Meanwhile, the bookies odds on this one, we got Harrogate 11-10 on for the 25 draw, 3-1 is your Oldham. Oldham coming into this, of course, in 17th, but a win for them, they can move up to 14th. Harrogate are in 16th, but a win for them, they can move up to, of course, 14th as well. I'm going to go with Harrogate on this one, 2-0 win over Oldham to 3 points in the bag. Here we go, though. Leyton Orient, late push up against Cambridge, beat the big boys, of course. Play to the last 6-2 for Leyton Orient, 3 for Cambridge, 1 draw last round in Brisbane. Rovers 2-1 win for Leyton Orient back in March 2020. Coming into this goal scoring, Jordan Maguire, Drew, Danny Johnson getting the goal score sheet for Leyton Orient, Paul Mullen getting the goal for Cambridge, of course. Also, pleasure this unboxing there was 2-1 for Cambridge, Houlihan, Mullen as well. Danny Johnson also on the score sheet for Leyton Orient. Heading into this, though, Leyton Orient come into this just 1 defeat the past 6 games. That was against Cheltenham on the road. Meanwhile, just 1 defeat also the past 6 games for Cambridge. That was against Exeter a couple of games back. Look at the bookies odds on this one. Leyton Orient coming at you 85 of the 94 is your draw. 70-10 is your Cambridge United. Of course, Leyton Orient in 9th, and win for them, they can move up to 7th. As for their opposition, of course, Cambridge, they are top, and they'll be top if they get a win or what. Going to go with the 2-0 win, though, for Leyton Orient. Goodness gracious me. Into the final 3 now. We've got Mansfield up against Scunthorpe Town, or Scunthorpe United. Played to the last 6, 4 wins for Mansfield, 2 for Scunthorpe, with no draws last time around. At Mansfield was a 2-0 win for Mansfield back in September 2019. Goals from Matt Preston, of course, Danny Rose as well on the score sheet. Also, played this season at Scunthorpe was a 3-2 win for Mansfield on Boxing Day as well. Heading into this, though, without a win in 5, that's, of course, Scunthorpe. Last time they were 1 was against Bradford all the way back at the end of March. Meanwhile, just 1 win in 6 for Mansfield. That was because Stevenage just the other day. A lot of draws knocking around for them as well. Mansfield coming to this 65 on for the 52 is draw. 10-3 is your Scunthorpe. Scunthorpe coming to this in 20th, but a win for them, they can move up to 18th. Sitting in 18th is Mansfield, and a win for them, they can move up to 17th in the table. I think Mansfield will nick it with a 1-0 win and 3 points in the bag. Here we go, though. Newport County up against Crawley Town. Of course, it's 7th up against 12th. Played for the last 6, 2 wins for Newport, 1 win for Crawley, and 3 draws last round in Newport was a 1-1 draw back in October 2019. Goals coming from Ashley Nathaniel Georgia with a penalty. Tristan Abrahams also with a penalty for Newport as the points were split right down and bloody middle. Also, a pleasure, though, this is our Boxing Day. It was also a draw in Crawley, 1-1 in the end. Heading into this, just 1 defeat the past 5 games for Crawley. That was against Oldham, 4-1 loss at home. Meanwhile, just 1 win the past 6 games for Newport. That was against Bolton at home on the way at the start of April. Look at the bookies odds on this one. Newport County coming into this. Even Stevens for 25 is draw. 40-5 is your Crawley. Crawley coming to sit in 12th, and with them they can move up to 7th in the table. As for their opposition, Newport County, they're actually in 7th, and with them they can move up to 6th in the end. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for Newport on this one. Unfortunately, they'll probably burst Crawley's playoff hopes. And then wrap it up, be Bolton up against Carlisle United. Of course, played to the lad just the one time earlier in the campaign. It was a 3-3 draw on Boxing Day. Goodness gracious me. Goals coming from Aaron Hayden, Lewis Sandra, Omari Patrick for Carlisle. George Thompson, Nathan Defonso, and Peter Cuso getting the goals for Bolton. He also got himself sent off, Cuso. Meanwhile, Bolton coming to this unbeaten in the last 6 games, picking up 3 draws on the spin, though. As for Carlisle, just 2 defeats past 6 games, losing the likes. Sorry, flip that around. Carlisle coming to this unbeaten in the last 6, picking up 3 draws in the past 6 games. Meanwhile, Bolton coming to this losing twice in the past 6, losing against Newport and Grimsby as well. Look at the bookies odds on this, bit of a flop maybe. Bolton coming to this 65, 32, 23, 10 is your Carlisle, 12-5 is your draw. Carlisle coming to this in 10th, and with them they can move up to 7th. As for Bolton, they are 3rd, and with them they could go 2nd. I've gone with a 3-1 win for Bolton. Would you believe it? Would you believe it? Of course, they should remain in the top 3. That's my picks, boys. That is my picks. Be sure to get your picks in nice and early. Of course, we'll take a look at your picks eventually. We will get there. Just get them in on record. So, of course, there's no cheating, no shenanigans. As, of course, the prediction league will wrap up. Be sure to give the video some love and smash your thumbs up, smash your subscribe. We'll do it all again, of course, midweek. Until then, I'm out.